They were playing tricks on us. They said 2%, but the real intention was to increase VAT with 0.5 this year and 0.5 next year, which would lead to 16%. They ran out of ideas on how to generate revenue for the state. This is not an instruction to Parliament. In terms of Public Management Finance Act, he's allowed to come and make a proposal according to Section 27 of that Act. And then we must then be allowed through committees to engage on this matter and come back and debate it here and adopt it here. We will not support any form of increase on VAT. We agree that we need to protect SRD. We agree that we need to invest in infrastructure, but let's test the rich. Let the corporate tax be increased. Let there be tax on the wealthy people of South Africa who buy buffaloes for 22 million. Those people should be made to pay and finance the social responsibilities of the state.
We're prepared to look at these things and negotiate around them if the other concessions would be put on the table. Which are? Things like the concessioning of the port of the city of Cape Town. We want time frames, timelines. Things like the Expropriation Act. There needs to be clarity on the Expropriation Act. Currently it is holding investment back because people are scared to invest in a country where they could lose everything without being able to have any recourse to courts, etc. We wanted just a clarification that matter is in, and there's a nil compensation, that is then confirmed by a court of law. That then protects everyone and it gives expression to Section 25 of the Constitution.
Actually, it reduces this other percent increase in VAT being the thief will be coming to make. It's because people just look at what I pay in mobilized society about it. The reality of the matter is that this budget talks to the needs of the people, where we stay, where we play, and where we pray. And therefore, it is important for people to read that budget very carefully. For example, we had a Democratic Alliance which was trying to polarize the discussion. They want to counterpose the budget to BELA, NHI, Expropriation Act, and we say those are political issues. Can take them out of the budget. But they say we've lost any battle, this one must be a battlefield. You can't make a budget a battlefront. It is for the country, it's not for the ANC, it's not for anybody, it's for the country.
It's common cause this is a budget without growth. It's a budget that double taxes people for years of corruption emanating for state capture. And when I talk about double taxation, it's not just VAT, it's also on personal income that simply says that all of that money is lost and citizens who are working, teachers, nurses, will now have to make another contribution in that loss. It's a budget that indicates the fact that there's no cut in expenditure. So our expenses are still higher in the sense that they exceed income. So to me, what we need to focus on is saying, I hope that when we talk about policy choices, we would have made those tough choices. This is the first budget of the GNU. We would have made those tough choices. We would have ensured that we make all the savings allocated towards growth. We could have cut things like agencies. We could have ultimately frozen some of the SOE bailout culture that has existed. We could have halved the cabinet to fund SARS and ultimately ensure that what we do is to prioritize the people rather than the political process. So I felt today the budget is only putting us in a place where we're at risk of a budget blowout.
I think it's good that the finance minister has responded to the criticism of the 2 percentage point increase to VAT, but we need to scrutinize the budget closely because single issue politics around budgeting are never useful. For example, for anybody who's watching or listening to this, what has been done is that the VAT has been reduced to 0.5% increase per year over the next 3 years. However, the annual tax rebates on low-income earners in the personal income tax brackets have been taken away. The inflation adjustments, which means it is the teachers, it is the nurses, it is the policemen, it is the artisans, the plumbers, and so on, and the entry-level workers, the graduates in training and so on, who are paying for this change. So it's important that we look at budgets in a holistic manner. It's good that the teachers are going to get employment. You're going to employ the unemployed doctors and nurses, invest in our public health system. It's also good that we're going to invest in trains. What the finance minister said about public transport is so important. A train from Naledi in Soweto to Park Station takes an hour and a half. It could take 35 minutes. The train ticket costs less than half of what a taxi gets. We complain about cost of living. The government needs to invest money in order to reduce the cost of living for ordinary South Africans. But as I said, we're going to scrutinize this budget. There are months to go, and we're going to make concrete proposals at the end.